With November of 2012 rapidly making its way to all registered voters, multiple topics remain piping hot on the debate table. From foreign policy to the national debt crisis, no topic lingers without being ripped to shreds and embroidered with teeth marks. With pressure for bill legislation and revision surmounting, one controversial topic remains the forerunner that virtually leaves all other topics in the dust: the inclusion of contraceptives in all religious institutions' healthcare policies. An exponentially growing number of abortions has spread across the country in recent years, which leads to a higher dependency on birth control, such as the pill and the contraceptive IUD. Religious leaders throughout the nation have accused the Obama administration of waging war on religion against the Catholic Church. But is that really the goal of the mandate?
Afternoon by now. As part of the healthcare reform law that I signed last year, all insurance plans are required to cover preventive care at no cost. That means free checkups, free mammograms, immunizations, and other basic services. We fought for this because it saves lives and it saves money for families, for businesses, for government, for everybody. And that's because it's a lot cheaper to prevent an illness than to treat one. We also accepted a recommendation from the experts at the Institute of Medicine that when it comes to women, preventive care should include coverage of contraceptive services such as birth control.
America's healthcare debate, a seemingly never-ending battle that in recent weeks has once again heated up.
It was certainly disturbing to us that one of the ways you could get out of this requirement was to hire only Catholics and restrict your services only to Catholics.
Welcome back to Congressman Michael Burgess, a Republican and a physician from the great state of Texas. Congressman, always a pleasure to have you on. Thanks for joining us.
Well, Judge, thanks for having me back.
Well, the president really blew this one. I mean, we learned early.
Welcome to this special edition of Hannity. Now, in recent days, there has been a huge controversy in the country over the so-called contraceptive mandate that the White House has put on the Catholic Church and others. Now, earlier today,
without insurance coverage, contraception, as you know, can cost a woman over $3,000 during law school.
With the help of the Obama administration, Georgetown law student Sandra Fluck is now the poster woman for government-mandated birth control insurance. But should we, the taxpayer, be paying higher premiums for Sandra's activities? We'll have a special report.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Do you want to pay for other people's activities? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo.
I had the chance to sit down with local high school dropout Zach Vakelja, who, after reading one article on today's newspaper, has decided that he is against the contraceptive mandate. Does the Obama administration have the right to do this?
No, it clearly states in the First Amendment of the Constitution that we have a freedom of religion, and this infringes upon that.
How do you feel about the comments made by religious leaders stating that the Obama administration is waging war on religion?
I completely agree. This is a personal attack from the administration on the rights of the Catholic Church.
How do you respond to Bill O'Reilly's comment on the issue, saying, why should we have to pay for other people's activities? Activities obviously implying sexual activities.
Well, I respect Bill O'Reilly's opinion on the matter. We shouldn't have to pay more so that college girls can have more sex.
So who is supposed to pay for all of this extra coverage?
All that burden will be placed on our taxpayers, but I wouldn't expect much less from a socialist president.
John, what's happened, and you recall back in the debate that we had George Stephanopoulos talking all about birth control, we wondered why in the world and contraception, and it's like, why is he going there? Well, we found out when Barack Obama continued his attack on religious conscience. I don't think we've seen in the history of this country the kind of attack on religious conscience, religious freedom, religious tolerance that we've seen under Barack Obama. Most recently, of course, most recently requiring the Catholic Church to provide for its employees and its various enterprises health care insurance that would include birth control, sterilization, and the morning after pill. Unbelievable.
I also had the pleasure of sitting down with Tequan Wittick, a political science major at Georgetown University, who's graduating at the top of his class. Wittick has been studying the mandate since before it was even passed, and is well read on the subject. Do you think this is an infringement on religious rights?
Well, no. I mean, nobody's forcing birth control down anyone's throat. Nowhere in the Bible does it state, "Thou shalt not provide contraceptive coverage to your employees." That's just ludicrous.
What do you say to people who say this is unconstitutional?
Well, I mean, this would be unconstitutional if the actual churches themselves are being forced into this mandate. But however, it's just the religiously affiliated institutions that are being forced to do it, which makes it perfectly constitutional.
Who is supposed to pay for all this extra coverage?
I mean, that's a very valid concern. And the actuality of it is that the coverage premiums only minimally go up, and making the benefits far outweigh the cost of the coverage.
How do you think this mandate hits the topic of women's rights?
I mean, this mandate is very protective of women's rights. In fact, Kathleen Sebelius, Secretary of Health and Human Services, is the one actually fronting this whole movement. And she's the one really, fueling the fire for this thing.
How do you respond to the comments and accusations of religious leaders of the Catholic Church, bishops, whatnot, claiming that the Obama administration is waging war on religion?
I mean, clearly this isn't Obama waging a war against religion. This is him standing up for the rights of women. And I really respect his secularist, separation of church and state attitude. And I know the Catholic Church has, for centuries, supported the oppression of women, but I really respect him stepping into the 21st century and, stopping all of this.
Can you shed any light on the exemptions clause of the mandate that churches can file for, and give me your opinion?
Well, yeah, the churches can file for a 1-year extension, whereby they don't have to actually follow by the mandate's rules, but I clearly see no point in it because it's unavoidable. The church is just prolonging the time in which they can be free from this mandate, and I just don't see the point of that.
Oh, didn't see you there. So what really was the goal of this mandate? Was it the Obama administration waging a war on religion, or was it just simply a way for women to more easily and affordably obtain contraceptives? Although the premiums of healthcare might slightly rise, the overall benefits of the mandate are far greater. The mandate upholds women's rights while remaining constitutional. It seems the Catholic Church will have to swallow its pride this time and realize they aren't exempt from the law anymore. Thank you, and good night.
Old friend, why are you so shy? Ain't like you to hold back or hide from the light. I hate to turn up out of the blue uninvited, but I couldn't stay away, I couldn't fight it. I had hoped you'd see my face and that you'd be reminded that for me it isn't over. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you. Don't forget it, I'll remember you say sometimes it lasts love, sometimes it doesn't
What are we going to do for the project?
Something with oranges?
Alright, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. What do we do though?
I don't know. We just...
We could, okay, well.
I don't really know about this.
Yeah, that was stupid.
Whose idea was that?
Colton.
Now, with her speech on women's suffrage, Katie, America, Dragons. Woo!
Women's rights are being protected by the contraceptive mandate. It allows women to make her own decisions. The birth control and contraceptive is not just about sexual activities, it is also about women's health. My employer should provide me with contraceptives that would control my own reproductive abilities, but also my well-being. The mandate is for employers, even if they are religious institutions, to make contraceptives available to all. Men shouldn't have to carry a burden after acquiring coitus. nor should women have to worry whether they will become impregnated. It should be a natural right given to females when they are born, that they have the right to contraceptives.